Hello everybody and welcome back to another Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the combination of Maxine and Vines. So we are going to see how well the Vine Dot can do when fully upgraded. And the reason we are doing this is because her combination, or synergy, is that the Vines get a dot speed increase. So let's see how well this dot speed increase can do against the mini-bosses and the larger enemies of this game and see how well it can perform. Now to go with this, we are going to get, I'm going to take Cleave, but not really upgrade it. The reason I'm going to do that, I'm going to keep it at a low level for AoE. I'm actually not going to increase the AoE of the Cleave at all, but I will increase its damage and things like that, and its attack speed. I just want to have something that I can sort of run into enemies and not worry about the later waves killing us. We'll also take Grand Hex just for some random clear, because that's always fun. Unfortunately, the Vines are not necessarily the best at getting you experience because they are targeted, and this small line is not going to get a huge number of kills compared to other things. Maybe we'll take, I'm not sure yet for the last one. We shall see. I think the dot damage is good. I do not want to take anything else with dots, however, so no mines or orbital fire, because we are focusing on the dot of this, and I do believe that dots override each other. We'll go with bone. Bone will protect us on top and bottom. So again, we will not be taking the size. We will take cooldown and or damage, and that is perfectly fine. So now we have protection, and we have our vines for the larger enemies. So we can actually see that Cleave itself, right off the bat, cannot kill these spear guys in one hit, nor can Bone. And the Vine did just go through, and instantly the Vine killed them. So that is sort of the power that I'm trying to show right here. Let's see if he will walk into it. Boom. Dead. Now, again, the Cleave can crit, which is very nice. So we can get that, but let's see if we can get a Cleave hit. One Cleave hit did not do it. It does take two in this regard. But again, that takes two hits, whereas one Vine hit with its dot damage instantly kills them because it ticks them twice so fast you can barely even see that it was ticking twice. So that is actually a fantastic element of the Vines and its increased tick rate. One other element of the Vines that is beyond amazing is the fact that right now you can see three options to choose from: dot damage, number, and AoE. That is it. There is no fourth option. And while, yes, a fourth option would be nice, it is also nice to have a weapon that you can max upgrade, should you want to max upgrade, with 31 instead of 41 levels. This allows you to just have more levels into other things and not necessarily focus on it as a primary focal point. It is the focus of this. We will be taking damage and size whenever we see damage and size, not necessarily number, and I will explain that in a second. But we can happily focus on two other weapons and say, well, I know we can still get Vines to where we want them to be. And that's what's beautiful. So it's a very nice, relaxing, comforting thing to see. The fact that we can get the Vines in a state where they're usable, and actually quite powerful with minimal upgrades. And yes, as you see there, I did not take number. I probably will take one or two more numbers, but realistically, the other element of the Vines is the fact that the number is menial. You only need a certain amount. And by that, I mean, right now we have 4. We can definitely get to the end with Maxine, again, who is the fastest character. Conrad would have many different things to say. But we can get to the end of our Vine range with 4. But say we had 5, we basically would have been on the edge of 5. And if we take that further to 6 or 7, we cannot get past them. Even if we were running at full speed along with the Vines. So we are not able to get further than 6 to 7 when we have the AoE up with our move speed. Now, extra Vines do mean extra kills beyond that, but realistically the Vines themselves are for protection versus the extension. So with this in mind, we just have a huge opportunity to save even more levels. As you can see, that boss did ride through our vines. Let's see what happens to him in a second. I'm not sure. I'm not going to charge after him. One thing to note is for charging enemies, you generally let them go off on their own. And he died down here. He went through the vines, and that vine damage killed him this far off screen because it stayed with him. Now, that is a thing of concern. Again, our dot damage is only at 9 right now. But that point right there means that if you do see a charging boss, and it does charge through your vines, well then, you may get into trouble. Because clearly, it can die completely in a place where you... we have a chicken, but not the chicken that is summoning chickens, unfortunately. And he is in the vines. Let's see how he does. He does seem to survive, but did take a substantial portion of damage. So I'm happy with that. It is good to know that it does not just one-shot all bosses. The tankier bosses will survive, which is perfectly fine. Completely understandable. No problems there. Let's see what we can get for pets. Magnet, fantastic. A little bit of damage for everything. Not dot damage, though, so it does not affect the vine dot. And then we have Chiconrad. I do like Lockpick for opening chests, but Chiconrad, this just seems right. There's chickens everywhere. This is Chiconrad's homeland, so let us set him free. We're going to have a mighty fast cleave, so even these fairies that are sneaking up on us, we do not care about. So that is fantastic. And again, we have vines to handle anything that is actually large for us. So I have no problems whatsoever with survival here. The cleave, again, most OP weapon. No one, I think, is really disputing that at this point. But again, we don't need to make it as OP as possible. We have it just literally just for protection. I do not want to take mines or orbital fire due to the fact that, again, they apply dots, and I don't want those to be overriding the vines dot. So that is why I have chosen to go with cleave here. I would normally do this with something like orbital fire and things just to show off the vines themselves, but again, with the way that the dots seem to be interacting, I want this dot to be the one on display. I want to see what it does to, say, this eyeball over here, and unfortunately, we might not see that. Maybe we'll see a different eye in there. Again, getting it to fire where you want. Oh, there we go. The eye got hit, instantly died. Let's see how it goes with the scythe. As you can see, the scythe, it's still alive. And it just died. So let's see, scythe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, not very upgraded in terms of damage or anything like that. Perfectly fine. I'm just trying to show that the dot is ticking substantially quicker than expected. So, and again, it's hitting for what, 9? It was hitting for 9. And it can basically instantly kill one of these eyes. So, let's see. This eye is going to it. It's in. Dead. Compared to this scythe trying to take it down. Again, I wrote, blah, 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 unupgraded, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's an important fact to note. Because even an unupgraded damage scythe, it's still doing 11. The dot is 9. So, the speed that the dot is ticking at is absurd. Let's get a tiny bit more damage so we can deal with the fairies and things as they do get more health. Let's see. We don't have any real gold. We can get a weak pet, but we don't want a weak pet. We want a chest right here, and then maybe we'll get a strong pet. And we shall see. So yes, the vines, huge damage. I can't wait to see what they do towards like the boss and things. Or the next boss coming up right now. Should be right around the corner. Again, look at how long this eye takes, where the eye that was at the south of the screen was instantly killed from these vines. Oh, alright. Nothing too strong, no big techs or anything like that, so we will take a hardy just to, have hearts throughout the run. I will never say no to free hearts. Get a tiny bit more damage. I think 15 should be enough pretty much for any enemy. coming up. This boss did get in the dot, and boom, you can see, took well over 200 damage, near in an instant. It's beautiful. It's bringing a tear to my eye. I think we're getting through most of this. Again, the cleave will be our just safety net. So we have the safety net at a good enough speed. It's doing plenty of damage. Not enough to necessarily kill everything. Again, we have not upgraded its crit rate and whatnot. But it's doing just enough damage. It's not doing too much, but it's not doing too little. And it's getting us all the experience that we need so we can get more dot damage itself. I want to bring up a few other weapons, though. I do want to get the cooldown on Grand Hex down because that always makes it fun. More cooldown, more good. Although the devs know that a bit too well, and that is honestly a good thing, where they're saying they don't want it to just be, hey, every time you do a run, spend all your points into cooldown until the run becomes fun, which is completely reasonable. I am thrilled to hear that that is something that they are considering looking at, just how people are choosing to level and things like that. Our dot damage is now at 7. We're almost done with AoE. Let's actually finish off AoE. I do want more damage, but our damage is pretty much enough to kill anything right now. So just finishing off the AoE just means it will hit more things. Again, look at how long it takes to kill a rock monster. It's in the AoE over there. Boom. They're already dead. They didn't even know they were dead, and they were already dead. So, more experience, more levels, more good. Actually, I should increase the number as well to get 1 to 2 more increases. Oh, we are taking a few hits here and there. I should start actually paying attention to what is going on. That is something that I have been a little lackluster in lately. So let's get this show on the road. Again, these large rock monsters exist to take hits. That is their entire existence, is just to be monstrous health pools. And the vines are able to decimate their health pools near instantaneously. It is truly wonderful. I mean, I can't even see how many times that the vines are hitting them. It is just ticking that fast. And with the slow speed that it does apply as well, hopefully it does look like that boss is going to get caught up, and unfortunately was not able to get him into the vines. But we have plenty of bosses. As we can even see, 2 of the same boss on the screen at the same time, and the third boss does ride on through. Riding on through, dead in the north, because it is indeed that powerful of a dot. He charged through, did not like what he saw, and just decided to leave the map. So, still never going to increase the size of the scythe. I do not want this being a long-range weapon in this regard. It is strictly for safety from these little fairies. And we will finally get that extra number. And again, especially in positions like this, there's no way that we could reach the end of it while moving. So number is the weakest of all of the levels. Again, it's not bad to have a couple points. I will not say no to 2 or 3 points into number. Maybe 4, but it is taking away of the beauty of the weapon in the fact that you don't need it. So by not getting it, you're saving your points for things like the Grand Hex or the Cleave cooldown damage, even the size, which we're not taking. So I'm more happy taking those abilities, because that I see as part of the ability of the vines, is that low level requirement. You do just want to be safe, though. We don't want anything really to surprise us. We do have good survival in the fact that we do have Chiconrad, we do have Hardy, we do have the Magnet, so we have some very, very nice pets. We will have the Bone, which is nice, especially as we are leveling it up to fairly good speed. And again, the Bone will just be more of a supplement in this regard. Not trying to actually upgrade the damage, more so... Ooh, look at this. So, definitely... Ooh, more Magnet, more good. Fantastic. I'm very happy with that. You can see, the vines went through the large... Oh, look at them all. They're just melting. Melting to the vines. These are the tough enemies, and the vines are decimating them. It is actually a fantastic element to see in a weapon that is all about survival. So it's about survival, it's there to protect you, it gives you these avenues to walk through, but you also can be assured that when you're walking through them, things are dead in your way. It's one thing to say, oh yes, anything that enters it is slowed. But this is more, anything that enters it is slowed if it can survive for more than 3 seconds. Because very, very few things in this game actually can. Bosses, of course, being one of them. But even the toughest enemies on this map, those rock golems, they have no ability to survive against the sheer dot damage that we are providing. So I think this is going to go fairly well. We have 2 more bosses, another pet. Holy moly, how many pets is that now? We have 6 already. I will happily take a 7th. Very, I wouldn't say rare. I mean, it does depend on how much money I get and if I buy pets. But without buying too many pets, it is rare. And we did buy a few, but not that many, realistically. Let's get one more, just so it does cover a little bit further away, just to have that little bit of fun there. Not needed, definitely. I should shoot off to the... Oh, an enemy just slid right in there. Slid right in. I just wanted to fire at these guys. An enemy slid right in. That is the one problem, is that enemies can be so quick that they can just close that gap when you're just going... Oh, look at that. Dying to dots. Another boss bites the dust. No problem whatsoever. I mean, it really shows it all. Just boss after boss after boss in the dots, and they cannot survive. Whew. Let's just keep our Grand Hex going. I would like some more AoE on the Grand Hex. I've definitely grown to like Grand Hex more just as a support clear. Having those clears are nice. Definitely not as a main weapon, but a support. The randomness does take away from its main weapon status. Same thing, again, with the vines. While it is not random, it is targeted now. It still feels fairly random, just because, again, all it takes is one of these little fairies to come out right when it fires, and then all of a sudden you are firing in the complete opposite direction that you had previously wanted. It's very easy for these fast-moving enemies to truly mess up your entire plans. But the vines are doing great work. Again, we can now handle this by going, okay, this is our safe zone, thanks to the vines. Oh, we're here now. This is our safe zone, thanks to the vines. Okay, we'll just wait for a second. This is our safe zone. It is vine protection. And I do believe this is one of the boss chests that I didn't even notice. He probably died to a vine. And I just completely missed it. One of the dangers of the vines, for sure, is just the fact that they can kill things off-screen, as you've seen with a charging enemy and things like that. It's very easy for them to charge off-screen, and now all of a sudden you just completely lost a chest due to the dot. Or when they are too long, again, if something is just off-screen coming on screen, it will die to the vines. If you are unlucky, again, it does have to be very well targeted if it is off-screen, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. So, we do want to get out of here before the final boss, however, even though it would be nice to have a very easy path. Oh my, another pet. Let's go! It would be nice to have just a nice simple path to the boss. I think this will work out just fine. I think the hardest part right now is once the boss spawns, we will still have fairies around us. And getting the vines to go in the direction of the boss right away, I don't quite think that is going to happen, unfortunately. I would love it if that were to happen, but more than likely we will miss with at least 1 to 2 shots. Let's say 1. So let's see, there's still some fairies. He's over here. They just shot in the other direction. Let's try. Oh, we got it in him. Let's see. Look at the damage. That is just with the vines. Is it the best damage in the world? Yeah, it's not necessarily what I would say the best damage in the world, especially now that I can't get it on the boss. But bones definitely tick for more. Oh, and I think right now I do need to focus on him actually dying. Oh, he died to the dots out there. Fantastic way to end. The dots did kill him in the end. I can't complain about that. I do think the dot damage is worth it. Again, does that mean this is her best synergy? No. But at the same time, I think this is a strong, valid synergy. It's definitely fun to see how much damage those dots do. That being said, I do think it's more viable to have the orbital fire dot. It doesn't do nearly as much damage, but it's a lot easier to get hits on everything around you. Same thing. I mean, obviously just using a boss killer weapon, much easier to actually kill the boss. But you could see how much damage and how quickly damage was stacking up thanks to the dot speed increase. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you will.